We're good.
We're on.
Good evening. Yeah, let's just give this one on top of this. I call to order the regular meeting of the Wellington Board of Selectmen for November 18th, 2024. The time is 6:30 exactly. If you join me in the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next thing up is approval of minutes. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of November 4th?
Make a motion to approve the minutes from November 4th.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Present to speak. Public participation is encouraged. Speakers are limited by appropriateness, staying on topic, and maintaining decorum. Your time may be limited to maintain progress. Please request to reserve time during the meeting if you wish to speak to a specific agenda item. Is there anybody present to speak? Seeing no hands on the board, none in the room. Moving on to correspondence.
Can I make a motion?
Sure.
Make a motion, we add debt limit to the agenda for tonight.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all in favor? Aye. I'd like to move that we add the reappointment of CIP committee members to the agenda.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. I think everything else is under
Are we
first
putting,
selectman status report.
are
So
we putting debt limit under new business?
yeah, under new business, yes, that would be D. Because you already put C under reappointment.
Right.
We have no correspondence, other than regarding reappointments. So. Oh, look at that. Who typed this out? You? Or did those come from?
What?
These come from you or
I
from
typed them.
Christina? Oh, very nice. Thank you. Public Works report. Oh, excuse me. I skipped one. Tax refund. Thankfully, a much shorter list than last time. How are you doing, Dave? Good, excellent. I move that we refund for excess payments, $36.55 to Matthew Mikazanik, I believe it is.
I second that.
Any discussion?
No discussion. No.
All in favor? Aye. I move that we refund for excessive payments to Matthew, same person, $36.55.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
I move that we refund for excessive payments, amount of $60.05 to Stephanie A. Pippin.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good, and we covered all that. Hang on just a minute, let me get these signed so that we can give them to Janice, and I don't forget. Okay, That's done. Public Works report. The Public Works are reporting that roadside mowing is continuing. Vehicle repair and maintenance for winter prep is going on. They're doing some roadside leaf blowing. They washed their trucks, they cleaned the garage, they did culvert repair on the old River Road, which is now complete. They started handing out the new transfer station stickers on November 19th. Residents are reminded to get the new sticker when they visit the transfer station. You have to have some proof of Wellington residency ready when you arrive at the station, like a driver's license or a piece of mail or something. We use the same basic standard as to vote. Please place the stickers on the left side of your vehicle's windshield, left bottom. And then they did a nice job of installing new drain pipes here at the town hall. There was the vast amount of runoff from the roof of this building ran into the parking lot, causing ice sheets in the winter and flooding problems in the basement. So they've installed, I believe it's a 4-inch pipe out to the field to drain that without flooding the field. So that took them 2 days. But that was our Public Works Department doing the work, so it's already part of the budget. Let's see, first selectman status report. First things first is, the transfer station is starting a new program. They will have a separate recycling bin for clean cardboard. They're looking only for cardboard, not for paper. Instead of paying $350 a ton to be taken away, they will be paying us, I believe, $11 a ton. So if you keep your clean cardboard separated and put it in the appropriate bin and don't contaminate that bin.
One resident had mentioned to me, what is clean cardboard? Is there a definition that could be provided?
It's not soaked in oil.
Yeah,
Generally your boxes you get from Amazon.
okay, so
Yeah.
appliance boxes.
Appliance boxes, all that
But
stuff, yeah.
not a pizza box, that wouldn't be.
I put the pizza box in the other one.
That's right,
Yeah.
okay, I'm just.
All right.
I'm sure we'll learn by doing, but.
Yeah, and the guys down at the transfer station will assist you. We are continuing talks for regionalization of animal control. It started out with me talking to Brian Foley over in Holland. Our current animal control facility is non-functioning right now due to the wiring being chewed off by the rodents and the rodent droppings. The Department of Agriculture standards have changed for animal control facilities, which is affecting all the towns because apparently they were all built at the same time and none of them meet the new code. We've also been in talks with Ashford, who's in exactly the same position we are. Their animal control facility is almost identical to ours. And they are also bringing in outside help. In fact, the same outside help we are from Stafford. So we've also talked to Stafford. And so now we're in a 4-town discussion on regionalization. So we need to talk to Capital Region Council of Governments on where we stand with that. And there's a lot of problems, as others have pointed out, with regionalization that we are trying to mitigate as we go along. So we had a meeting with Stafford, Ashford, myself, and Colin. I think there's a lot of savings to be had by reducing the number of facilities from 4 to 1 or 2, and reducing the number of vehicles from 4 to 2, and reducing the staff from 6 to 3, and providing one communication system for all 4 towns instead of 4 communication systems, et cetera, et cetera. It also ought to improve the coverage. 2 days before we had our meeting scheduled, I got an email from the town manager in Mansfield who said, "Are you guys interested in regionalizing for animal control?" To which I said, "Funny you should ask." But we're not sure that that would work in well with our plans, so. Our building department and Collins, grant writing department are doing most of the heavy lifting on this, so.
Town has a grant writing department?
It will, one person,
Well,
department of one,
one more than we have.
yes. It
That writes grants for, different things in the
Yeah.
town and things like that.
all kinds of things. But she also coordinates projects like this, and so. I would, that's something that in coming months, I'd like to research as a grant writer and, I believe she's working for them part-time
Yeah,
and may be interested in working for somebody else part-time.
yeah, I talked to several voters when I was campaigning for select last year or the year before, I can't remember when it was. And a lot of people were very, very interested in making sure that we receive or we try to get grants, that we don't apply for any
Mhm.
now or we apply for too few of them now.
I don't believe we were applying for any. I've been encouraging my department heads as I see grant opportunities come across my desk to, explore whether we are eligible for some of the grants coming through. I know Jimmy Callahan's pretty good at,
Yeah, right,
he's a good kid.
so, are you gonna follow up on that, with the town Pete, or?
As far as getting a grant writer, or as far as regionalization?
Sharing a grant writer?
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Yeah, I gotta find the bandwidth to deal with another thing on my plate.
I understand.
The state has given us an unfunded mandate to, I see the shock on your face, Mr. Blessington,
I've never heard of such a thing.
we need to record the ballot box, video record the ballot box in the front of the building for 4 weeks prior to every election, then pull that hard drive and maintain it in the vault for 1 year. Get audited. We did not get that project completed this year. They gave us 3 weeks notice and no money, so that didn't get done. I've been in talks with, ALV. Yeah, I can't ever remember what order those letters go in. Who does our video and, they thought that we had a nice $200 option. Turns out that when they installed this system 3 years ago, nobody foresaw the state elections commission making this demand of us. So we have the wrong video recorder, so it's gonna be about a $1,600 fix,
Wow. Non-budgeted too.
non-budgeted. I've talked to, Donna, and she's found the money in another account where we will have savings. And, she'll be talking to the Board of Finance to transfer it to the appropriate department so that we can get this thing installed and stay within specs,
You done.
regulations. Yeah, yay, Donna, I've been asking an awful lot of her, which will bring me up to, next point is, I believe it's a week from tomorrow is the 27th.
Wednesday.
Oh, no, then it would be the 26th, then 26th or 27th, it doesn't make any difference to me. We need to have a special meeting one of those days during the day.
Has to be, I work 16 hours on the 27th, so that.
So can we do it the 26th? The 26th. It has to be one of those days to make it work for, we need two items on that. One is a call of a town meeting. And one is to begin budget discussions. So it'll probably be an hour, 2 hours on Tuesday. As soon as I can get it scheduled, I'll have Shannon notify you. It has to be on that date to get the town meeting, so it doesn't land on on Christmas, I think. I'm trying not to have it on Christmas Eve.
I can think of nothing better. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought that would be bad.
Right.
Made an executive decision on town meetings on Christmas Eve being bad.
Right.
So I think the call will include two things. One is, conservation, committee has gone to the Board of Finance already and they asked us to call a town meeting to buy a small piece of property to fit in a key-shaped slot in the property we already own. Up on the Fender Ruby property on the Ashford line.
I read all about that, Pete. Is there any liability for the town in this? Isn't there some kind of a?
Well, they're gonna be tearing down the camp that's out there.
Right.
And for the dams,
The dams, that's what we're concerned about.
I don't know if the dams are already ours or not. So I will be checking with Kathy Demers on that.
Right.
That's part of our hazard mitigation plan at any cost.
Right now.
So if it's a hazard that we can mitigate even by getting them, I think that would be a bonus.
But we're not, who owns it now? Someone else owns it now. Or are we responsible for the safety of those dams on the property that does not belong to us right now?
We have to figure out some way to get them to mitigate it if we don't mitigate it and they're not mitigating it, so.
Those weren't on the identified dams that have been identified already.
Okay.
They're not, I don't think they are truly, they're more like, I think these are just holes in the ground with earth between them.
Okay.
The dams that were.
Look at the pictures, it was hard to tell.
Yeah, they're more like swamps that were dug out, so the dams that have been identified as a problem by, perhaps who identified them. There was a distinct list, one of them's up on
I think it was
74 and some where they have a significant problem with downstream hazards if they fail.
Right.
These are just like walls between two ponds, so if they fail, nothing happens, that's, because I did ask that
Oh,
question.
you did?
Yeah, I think it came up in planning and zoning.
There you go.
Thanks,
Appreciate that.
yeah.
Look at this, information being passed.
I mean, it's wonderful. Open communication.
I love it. So, that being said, we have a Board of Selectmen meeting scheduled for December 2nd, which I don't believe I can attend. That's an incredibly bad week for Pete Tanaka.
Yeah.
And
Could we, any chance of any agenda items for that could be put on the November 26th?
yeah, we'll try to put as many of them there on the 26th. And then, we have a December 18th meeting, I believe it
It
is.
was on,
I don't have a calendar in front of me.
it was on the screen before we tuned in, but now it was the
What would be
16th.
the 16th?
16th, it was the 16th?
14 days after the second.
Yes,
Yeah.
16th. Look at it, right there on my calendar.
Right there.
So, yeah, we'll try to get that on the 26th
Yeah,
and
sounds
then
good.
go from the 26th to the 16th. I used to panic that we weren't having a meeting every 2 weeks, then I found out the law says you only have to have a meeting every 2 months. I went, wow. And I will be attending an Eversource presentation tomorrow in Britain all morning.
Oh.
So we're gonna see how we can get our power turned on faster or something. I'm not sure what they're gonna tell us. Probably gonna be lobbying us on getting our bills.
Well, right, trying to, yes, feel good about a higher rate. and
Yeah.
Rate increases.
And the last thing I have under this is, why is November 4th all over my thing? November 4th is passed. I think that was, anyways, our town has been randomly selected to be audited for the, election. So our registrars will be here all day Friday with
Me,
you. Is it with you? And I don't know who comes in,
There's
the
a
state
few.
elections commission
there's a few other people that are volunteered to come in and help count now.
volunteered. And the state elections commission under the secretary of state or something is coming in. So I think it would be well served to also visit Mansfield, but that's just me. New business. See if I. Whatever, oh. That's why it said November 4th. Reappointments. We have several reappointments on town committees. So I would like to, the WISE committee is now down to one person. And they are gonna need, I believe, a minimum of 4 to have a quorum. So I put out we've asked for people to reapply, and I've asked that committee to look for diversity in opinion and talent, etc. But one of the main members on that committee, his appointment just expired actually a year ago. So what we're gonna do is, I'd like to move that we reappoint Donald Berg to the Wilmington Sustainable Energy Committee WISE from effective today, because and expiring November 4th, 2026.
I'll second that motion.
That'll clear that will put him back into the process that he was already in, and won't screw up the overlaps in appointments.
I read all about this work that he does with the housing
Yes.
group, committee,
Mhm.
and
He's very active.
extend a thank you for volunteering.
Okay, you have anything in?
No, we voted on this before, but we didn't have the
We didn't
dates.
have the date.
We
so
didn't have the dates,
vote.
okay, well, we didn't, so
We
we
tabled it.
We tabled
we
it.
tabled it,
Yeah.
okay. Yes, I think Don is a great contributor to the town.
Okay, so all those in favor?
I,
Aye. I've gotten notice from Kathleen Demers, the chair of the Wellington Conservation Commission. She has asked us to reappoint 2 members. I think I'm gonna move them separately to the Conservation Commission. So I move to reappoint Carol Jordan as a regular member for the 3-year term of 12/02/2024 to 12/01/2027.
12-2,
12/2, 12/1.
you
12/2 to 12/1.
Okay.
That way, she expires at midnight, gets
That's fine.
reappointed
All right, yep, I
at
second that,
midnight.
I second that motion.
Carol Jordan has been a longtime member of that committee and has been very, very active. I believe she chaired it for some time as well. Hearing no other discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
I'd like to I'd move to reappoint Jackie Kulik as a regular member for the 3-year term of 12/02/2024 to 12/01/2027.
Second that,
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
I,
The Capital Improvement Program Committee. I move to reappoint Jennifer McCoo under her new name. She was Jennifer
Goodale.
Goodale. To the capital improvement program, as a regular member of the committee, effective December 2nd, 2024, and expiring December 1st, 2027. Do I hear a second?
I second that.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I move to reappoint Melissa McKinnon to the capital improvement, to the capital improvement program committee, effective December 2nd, 2024, and expiring December 1st, 2027. Melissa's also served in many other committees in town, including Wellington Day. Any other discussion? Hearing none?
I second that. I didn't hear a second.
All right, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I thought you did, and I just.
In my mind, I did. I didn't say it out loud.
In my mind, you did too, so we're doing good. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Which brings us to debt limit. You're up.
Yeah. There's two memos here, or examples of debt limit. One is from Reading, and the other one is from, I think, East Haddam. I think we should just, I apologize about these prints aren't very good quality. I'll also forward these to you, in your regular email, your town email. Maybe we can read these over.
Okay.
Be prepared to discuss them next time. I think it's important that the town of Wellington establish a debt limit. We have none. Our auditors have been asking us or recommending to us for quite some time that we establish a debt limit for the town of Wellington. The state of Connecticut has suggestions or not recommendations, suggestions about a level. And that level's about 10%. Something
Maximum 10%. Recognize, yeah, they recommend 2 to 8% with a maximum of 10, I think.
Yeah. So I think it's important, and I think that that limit that we do has to include any other encumbrances on the town budget. And that would include debt incurred by Region 19, not just ourselves here. And I know that when we were looking at the referendum for the school that failed, referendum was it last year? That would have put us substantially above 10%. And that didn't pass. I think it's important that we establish some kinds of guardrails on what's acceptable in terms of debt for our town.
Matt, where can I learn more about debt limits in general? I mean, I understand these are policies and these sort of explain what these towns are doing. But, I mean, can I just Google it? Will that give me some?
I tried, it's difficult.
Okay, did you find any?
I did not, I found it very difficult, so I reached out to Donna. And Donna came through as usual, and provided these citations, so it used, up until this point in our conversation, looked like I did this work, but it was actually Donna. And this is very helpful, I read them over, and it makes a lot of sense to me. I don't think we need to be quite as in-depth and complex as what East Haddam did. And I think we should be more in the line of what Reading did, but maybe we can read these over and just be prepared to look at it, the next meeting.
I'd also like to look at, how this works procedurally, whether it should be a, something that the town has on. Why am I blanking? Ordinance. That's the word I was looking for. Whether it should be an ordinance that we pass or whether it should be a policy passed by the Board of Finance.
Yeah.
And whether we should be urging the Board of Finance to pass such a policy
I think
or.
my idea,
Yeah.
open to what you guys think. My idea would be that the Board of Selectmen looks at this, analyzes it, talks about it, and makes a recommendation to the Board of Finance that they should take this up. Here's our recommendation.
Okay.
And they can, because you're right, it is the Board of Finance duty.
Right,
However, I think that, this is an overarching issue having to do with everything in our town.
Yes.
And as such, I think the Board of Selectmen should have an opinion on this and express that. And then if it was a policy, it would be a policy, a town policy administered by the Board of Selectmen.
right, that's why I was almost considering, thinking, I mean, ordinance just hit me.
Yeah.
Actually, the word didn't even get there, the idea did, so that because policies are easier to
Yes,
circumvent than ordinances.
a change, yes.
And, ordinances are much harder to get through, but it would be, I think, it's kind of like the difference between an executive order and an actual congressional law.
Yeah,
And I think that maybe the ordinance might be the way to go, so I think that's maybe one way to look.
it has to go to town meeting to be
Yeah,
approved.
Right, as an ordinance,
Well,
even as a policy, I believe the Board of Finance could adopt a board policy without a
Best
town
practice,
meeting.
sure.
Yeah, this is our best practice,
yeah.
so I think that an ordinance may be the way to go.
I'd like to see this go to town meeting, and I'd like to have a discussion. I mean, people should have a right to, weigh in and tell us what they think and go from there.
Yeah, exactly. The other thing is, I believe that if you get one of the Sobel, audits from any one of the last 7 years, they're in blue folders, Tish has an expert case of them.
Oh, okay,
It has something in there, so,
I will ask Tish.
yes. And she will be glad to take them out of the box in front of her desk so that it doesn't trip on it quite so often. That being said.
For tax stabilization, we reached out to, East Windsor.
Okay,
It's not on here. I can make a motion if you want.
are we ready for a motion for tax stabilization or is there more
Just add-
discussion?
Just add it to the agenda.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, just the update is, we set a meeting.
right,
That's all.
Move that we add it to the agenda, I'll second it.
All right, then it's seconded, all in favor, say
Say aye.
aye. Yeah, so we reached out
I
to
would've done the
East,
same thing.
East Windsor, we have a meeting set up to talk about, this policy. On tax stabilization, they have much more commercial development than we do here in our little town. And they have experience, putting together tax stabilization policies for developments. Again, this is tax stabilization is not an abatement. We are not giving anybody any money. Everybody pays every penny that they owe the town of Wilmington. All it is making it the same every single year. It doesn't go up, or excuse me, it doesn't go down as time goes on.
And this was explained to us in planning and zoning as well, because it came up with the,
Good.
battery thing. They
Right.
wanna do that, that's something they wanna do. It sounds pretty reasonable to me, that instead of having all that depreciation, which is unknown, I just, first blush, and again, I'm not a financial wizard by any means, but it sounds like if you're gonna get $1,000 this year, and then it goes down, or you get $100 every year, probably overall easier to manage the money if it's the same every year. The question is, was there any sort of, I don't think cost of living is the right answer, but is there any sort of inflationary adjustment?
We'll
And
discuss.
that would be a question that I have for you to find out.
Right.
And if there is, as long as that would march along, then I think, I can't. I understand, oh, we want the money right now, but it seems like just for budgeting practices, to get the same amount every year, seem better for the
Well,
town.
it's on both sides, so it's
Yes.
a partnership, so
Yes.
we benefit because we're gonna get the same amount every single year, and we don't have a situation where we're rich in the beginning and poor at the end.
Exactly.
And the same thing with our business,
Right.
that we're partnering with, they have the same thing, so.
They know how to budget for their expenditures as well, so.
And
Also-
you're right, as far as the inflation thing, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We'll find it.
The other thing is that there was a lot of questions that was brought up by the auditor today. The assessor is not the auditor. So she started asking me questions on this, on how do we determine value, replacement stuff, these are very,
Good questions,
these are
excellent
very
questions,
good questions.
excellent questions.
And when you tell somebody that they have a very good question, it's often means that you have no good answer. So I have directed,
It's a fair question, though.
right, I have directed her to talk to Mike D'Amato, and they are starting to work out some of these problems as well, because this is not a simple process, but. So,
We had the, on that issue, we had the hearing on the batteries at EDC as well. I mean, it's associated with this.
Yeah,
That went well, the town, a lot of people were there, everybody talked about it, made a follow-up from the developer, and the developer, I'll include the developer's notes or responses to questions in the next EDC minutes.
what was the overall feeling from the townspeople?
A lot of people were very concerned.
Really?
Yeah, to be quite honest. I mean, there was a couple of people that were okay, this makes a lot of sense, blah, blah, blah. There's also a lot of folks that are very concerned about their safety and also about their housing values.
Really?
I don't want to stick it, get into the middle of a big discussion, but it's difficult. No one wants to see anything that might possibly be, detrimental to the environment, but I mean, the responses that I got from the developer were, they're pretty good, and they'll be on the minutes attached to the next EDC meeting for everyone to see.
I don't wanna hijack this one.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, this project was through the state siting council, so we had no control over it all. But their hearings were all public, and this was discussed at planning and zoning and EDC previously,
Last year.
2 years ago, I
2
think.
years.
And, that wasn't, sufficient for, even though they were public meetings, for
Yeah,
a lot of people to have hear about the project, so that when, the project manager offered, I encouraged Mike to take him up on the offer to have a public meeting.
yeah, that's.
And, I think that there was a lot of people who were very surprised that the project was this far along.
Right.
And this was the first time they were hearing about it. And so they were thankful that we were having a hearing, so I'm glad we had it. Okay, old business. Emergency Services Facilities Building Committee.
I sent an email to Bruce Lawler about getting the Board of Selectmen's recommendation regarding the proposal and
Right.
on their agenda, and that's
This is
as far.
Thursday.
It is this Thursday.
Yeah, it's this Thursday, and that's that's the second item on the call for, so if they pass that this Thursday, we can get two things on the meeting, the town meeting call, and save the town's.
Do we need to have
$1,500.
another town meeting as that money was
Yes.
already allocated
Yes,
for research?
because of the account that it's coming from.
Go ahead.
Believe me, I did my best to not, but.
Just because it was very confusing how adamant
Yes.
they were that this could only be used for research because that was approved. It's
Yes,
already been approved, but we gotta get it approved again.
we gotta get it approved again because of the account that it's coming from.
Hold on, I apologize, people are probably, I'm not clear on what account we're talking about.
Me neither.
All right, so I think it's, count 19,
But the
or
subject
it's either
is,
19 or 4.
the subject is.
The heat study for
Oh,
that we
now I
approved
got
at
it.
the last meeting,
Thank you. I
No,
got
I'm sorry.
which is over $10,000, so that it has to go to town meeting and
I got
it
it.
comes from certain accounts. And because of the accounts it's in, we have to go to town meeting.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Sorry,
You guys communicate so well together,
we're minor,
I.
That's scary.
we're frightening each other, believe me. So,
That's all I got.
good, present to speak? Anybody on, oh, Ralph. Came through
Good
for us
evening.
for a present to speak.
Everyone, Ralph Tillis, 47 Village Hill.
You froze.
Oh, we lost you, Ralph.
Oh, he's frozen.
Yeah, he's all kinds of frozen.
Oh, he's stuck. That's on him. Quick question before he comes back. Did we decide what we're doing about the December meeting? Nothing is.
Oh.
Are we canceling it?
December second.
December second?
Yes, I thought.
Okay, I,
Nothing ever happened. We
All
just.
right, I'll make a motion that we, cancel the December second meeting, but we try to make every effort to put any business that would have been discussed there on that, meeting, that
special meeting on the
posed for the
26th.
26th.
Okay,
Has that been,
Okay,
did we agree to that? Okay.
yeah.
Second.
I'll second. All right, no discussion that I heard, so all in favor? Aye. All right, Ralph, you're back.
Yeah, the internet connection hiccuped here. I don't know what happened.
Let's blame, Spectrum.
Is it Spectrum or, no, never mind. Regarding debt policy, I think a good place to look would be Tolland's website because they have a rather comprehensive debt policy.
Thank
Back to cardboard for a second. We used to do that. We had a separate container for corrugated cardboard. And it proved to be hazardous because it was like a shipping container. And people would throw boxes in. They were all supposed to be flattened, but half of them weren't. And it actually got pretty dangerous to try to throw your cardboard in there because if you stepped on something that was on the bottom, you could slip and fall. Are we going to be using a dumpster for that? Because I think that would be wiser.
Yes, we will
Yeah.
be using a dump,
Okay,
and that way they can crush it with the backhoe.
good. Now, you say cardboard. Cardboard comes in a variety of forms. Corrugated cardboard is very common. That's your basic boxes. But there's also just plain cardboard, one layer, but kind of like cardstock, but a little bit thicker. Is that
Yes.
going to be acceptable?
Yes,
Now, I notice Amazon has gone to like a brown craft paper packing
that goes in the
material
other one.
rather than packing peanuts. Can that be included?
No, that goes in the other one.
Because it's simply poor quality brown paper, which is the same thing that cardboard is made from.
I think that goes in the other one, but you're gonna have to talk to Matt. He'll know.
Okay, all right, well, it's just something that is going to need to be kind of overseen in its initial stages because I can see styrofoam winding up in some of those boxes.
Yeah,
And that's basically gonna contaminate the entire load if you do that.
yep, we don't want that.
And then we get nothing for it.
Yep,
That's all I have. Thank you.
thank you, Ralph. Melissa,
Hi, Melissa McKinnon, 63. Can you hear me?
yeah,
Yep,
63 Lucian Road. I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to continue serving on the CIP board. Being part of the CIP has taught me so much about town government, and I truly appreciate the chance to continue contributing. So thank you so much.
you're most welcome.
Thank you for
Thank you for
volunteering.
volunteering, yes. I think that covers present to speak. Good and welfare. I have one thing. I would very much like to, congratulate and thank and honor, Dick Claus from the Willington Hill Fire Department. I had a chance to go to their recognition dinner Saturday night and present him with the certificate that we all signed. It was, the framing job came out beautifully. Dick has put in 55 years with the department and was once again recognized as the #1 responder from that department. And he has held every position of command from hose jockey to chief. So he has done an amazing job for our town. Our town couldn't function without guys like Dick Claus, so I we appreciate that. Does anybody else have anything for good and welfare?
Other than 56 years is amazing. Thank you very much
Yes.
for your service. No,
Also on that, Jeremy Chartier was recognized for 25 years of service, and I wasn't sure Jeremy Chartier was 25 years old yet, but he has done another phenomenal
Yeah,
job.
that's a long time.
It's a long
A
time.
lot of dedication.
So, do we have anything else? Do I hear a motion to adjourn? Do I hear a second?
I second that.
All in favor, aye?